Hi amigo friends, hope you're all doing well today. So this morning me and Jennifer will talk about the process of getting our plates for our car, and we want to say thank you so much for following along with us. We truly appreciate everybody out there, whether you've subscribed or not subscribed. We appreciate you all. Anyway, I'll flip it over here to my beautiful wife and she'll take it away.
Hola amigos, Daryl wants me to talk about the process of getting plates or placas for our brand new car. We also wanted to put we never put the name of the plates in my name with the Figo. There was no need to do that. They weren't, you don't have to do that here in Mexico until they expire, so we just didn't bother. And we could have if we wanted the plates in our name, but we decided that we'll just tackle that at a later time. So I thought I'm going to be at it's an office called Centro de Servicios of the state of Yucatán. So it's a government-run agency through the state of Yucatán. But I'll just go through the process, hopefully chronologically, and see if it makes any sense to you guys. So our brand new car, it arrived on Wednesday. The dealership called us and said, your car, we'll have it ready for Saturday. Please send us the insurance, please. And they sent us the factura or the original invoice of the vehicle, which is very important when you're owning a vehicle and to register it, etc. I think we talked about that when we bought the Figo. So they sent us a digital copy so that we could get insurance for it, because they couldn't release the vehicle without insurance, and they couldn't get the paperwork started without insurance. So that's why I think it took a few days from arrival to pick up, is because they had to get some paperwork done, because the dealership imported the vehicle, so probably there was some paperwork involved in that. I believe, maybe Daryl will talk about this tomorrow, but I believe it was manufactured in Brazil. So we set our appointment for 11 o'clock on Saturday to pick up the car, and we solicited the help of our friends. Shout out to Jorge and Jessica. We like to use their help when we're not confident in my Spanish to get us through an ordeal or an event or something. And they're always gracious enough to help where they can, when they can. So my understanding is he called the Centro de Servicios, or Center of Services Center, to find out what we were going to need to get plates for our new car. And they did mention to him, because I was a foreigner, that I would have to get a letter from immigration, and he didn't understand that part. And now that the process is over, I still don't understand that part. But he says, well, we'll just go there, and I'm like, don't you need an appointment? And he says, no, they said you don't need an appointment, just go there. So I think there was some confusion there about what they meant by that. But so we decided we would go in the morning before picking up our car to try to get plates. So he went with me because he speaks Spanish, but they wouldn't let him in. Only one member per service was allowed in. So they allowed me, when I say in, they allowed me past the gate, but it's not actually in the building. They took my green card, my temporary residency card. They took that from me and told me to wait. And then maybe 5 minutes, if that, and they came back with my green card plus a letter to immigration asking them to verify my residency. We thought that's what the green card did, but okay. They weren't going to help us without this letter. They needed this letter stamped, original, signed. Okay, so we decided we had a little bit of time before our appointment to pick up a car, so we stopped by immigration that day. It was a Saturday, and they were closed. So okay, we went on to the dealership and we picked up our car, and we were there quite a bit. The salesman wasn't there yet. He was getting us carpetas, or floor mats, his gift to us. So maybe Daryl will talk about the car a little bit more. I don't know, on this video or a separate video. So we left with the car, and they gave us it's a permiso here, and it's getting so that I can't remember the English words for things. But a temporary permit, I guess, because we don't have plates. So the dealership provided us with a temporary permit to drive around, and we had 2 weeks to get our own plates for this new car. So we made arrangements with our friends Jorge and Jessica to meet on Monday when immigration would be open to get this letter that the Centro de Servicios needed. So we all met up and we went down to immigration, and we went up to the security guard. Well, I didn't, Jessica did. Had this letter from Centro de Servicios and said, you know, this is what we need. And they're like, okay, we need copies of utility bill and my green card. We didn't have copies, so Jorge ran off to get copies for those things. But every copy place he went to was closed. And he's tried several, and he got in the car and he drove around trying to get some, and he found one in a pharmacy, but the machine was broken. So it took like 40 minutes just to get these 2 copies of paper or documents. He finally gets them. We go out to the guard and says, okay, we have our copies. And he says, okay, thank you very much. You can come back at 11 o'clock tomorrow to get your letter. Okay, so we're not getting plates today because we can't get plates without this letter. Again. So this now Tuesday, 11 o'clock, Daryl and I drove back into Merida. Remember, we're living in Progreso now, so each trip is, I mean, it's only 20 minutes to Merida, but you know, it's
half hour to the insurance place and to the immigration, or better.
Yeah, and now it's Tuesday, and Jorge and Jessica have to work, so we did this on our own. We went down to immigration. I had no issues getting the letter.
Notarized.
It was just an official letter saying yes, she's a temporary resident, and it had a stamp and a signature, and I guess the stamp and the signature is what they want. So now with this letter in hand, we went back to the Services Center of the state of Yucatán. And I did it while Daryl waited for me in the car, but because they wouldn't allow him in anyways, and he had the dog. So I said, oh no, we picked up this letter, we went to the center, and I said, okay, I got what I need. I need to get plates, and they said, do you have an appointment? And I said, no. I didn't know I needed an appointment. So they said, okay, come in and make an appointment. So I did. And that wasn't really a big deal, making an appointment. And the girls at the desk spoke a little bit of English, and I spoke a little bit of Spanish, so we figured out what we needed. And my appointment, thankfully, was the next day, Wednesday, at 8:20 a.m. So, okay, no place today. So we go, Daryl and I go back, 8:20 in the morning on Wednesday. And I said, okay, I got everything, and I have my appointment. And they're like, okay, come in. And again, when I say come in, I'm not actually in the building. They have it's outdoors, but it's covered. So it's a waiting area that's out of the sun. But it's really technically not in the building. I really haven't been in the building at this point yet. So they send you to this waiting area, and it's not long. They have a whole team of administrators that come and make sure that you have all your documentation that you need. They took one look at me and said, okay, you need to talk to Jessica, and that's because Jessica speaks English. And because I know my pronunciation is terrible, but you know, I seem to I'm getting better at getting along with my Spanish. Anyways, so between Spanish and English, Jessica and I figured out that I did indeed have everything I needed, mostly. Because of this immigration letter, the original signed, stamped immigration letter, and I needed to get plates for a new car, and I wanted to change the ownership of the old car to my name, I needed 2 of these letters. So she said, okay, you can only do 1 vehicle at this point. Okay, we'll get new plates for the new car and we'll deal with the Figo later. So, so she went through all my documentation and she says, okay, you need copies of everything. Luckily, this time there's a copy place on site. I got, I think, probably 10 copies. It's 2 pesos a copy and a different price if you have, if you need both sides copied. So in total, I paid 27 pesos for these copies. And it didn't take long because it was so early in the morning, but I have seen that lineup get pretty long in the afternoon. So Jessica looks over all my copies and organizes it and says, okay, just wait here. And so I waited a brief time, and then they ushered me into the building to wait a little longer until, and again, it was a brief time, a brief wait until you got up to a counter where somebody would help you, and he entered everything in the computer, which that took quite a long time. It's a brand new vehicle, so it's probably not in their system at all, and that's probably, you know, maybe their system's got to talk to export system, whatever. It took a while, and at one point he said, do you have a license to drive? And I said, oh yeah, and I started to reach for it, and he goes, no, but in the state of Yucatan. And I said, no. And he says, okay, just wait here. And then he left for about 5 minutes, and I'm just sweating bullets. I'm not going to get plates again because I'm going to have to get a driver's license first, and how long does that take? And do I need immigration letters for that? But he came back and he started entering in his computer again, never asked about the driver's license again, never wanted to see it. Okay, I think we avoided that. And then he says, do you have the permiso, the temporary permit? I said, yeah, it's in the car. I need it, he says. Okay, can I go get it? He says, yeah, you can go get it. And I'm like, and I can come right back to you? Yes, he says. So he had a guard escort me and tell me, so, you know, it was a chain of guards telling them all she can come back. So I ran out, and it's been about 40 minutes at this point that I've been in this building. So I ran out, and Daryl's on the phone, and he's like, oh, I gotta go, Jennifer's back with the plates. I'm like, no plates yet. And I just grabbed the permit, which was, you know, just taped to the window. And I ran back in and straight up to the window, and he was gone, so I had to wait for him a little while. But it wasn't long before he was back, and then he's done all of his entering. He hands me a slip of paper, and he only speaks Spanish. Maybe he speaks English, I don't know, but to me he spoke Spanish. And my understanding was to go wait in this other area, in the same building, but it's in another waiting area, which was full of people. There was a lot of people waiting. He said, wait for them to call your name, and then you can go pay. Okay, so that's what I heard, and but the wait was long enough that my mind started to work overtime. Like, what if I didn't understand them? Because they were announcing things over a PA system. And I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying. And he said they would call my name, but I'm hearing numbers. I don't know if I'm in the right place. So I decided to get up because I could see another area. It was the cashier, and he said something about paying. So maybe I'm supposed to be in this waiting area and not this waiting area. So I asked these people, you know, am I in the right area? Is this what I'm supposed to be waiting for? And yada yada. And they then proceeded to confuse me so much, like asking if my car has been verified and if there's pictures taken of it. And I'm like, I don't know. So one guy's on the computer and he says, no, go back to where you were and wait for them to call your name. Okay. So I'm sitting there long enough, and it you know, hearing the PA over and over again, I finally realized that they are announcing a name, though it was very hard to make out a name, and then the window number that they were to go to. And I'm like, okay, so that's where the number was, because I was looking at my paperwork. I had no numbers. I don't know. But anyways, that was the longest wait, and they did eventually call my name. And she handed me a slip of paper and told me to go to the cashier's office to pay. And I had a peek at that office, and I knew there was a lot of people waiting in there too, so I was expecting to wait some more, but no, they ushered me right to a window to pay. So I paid at that window, and then he told me to go out here and talk to the people at this desk and get my plates. So they took the piece of paper that the cashier gave me and told me to wait, and that was a brief wait, but I got my plates. I'm like, woohoo, I sent Daryl a picture of our plates, these are our new plates. And then I thought, well, I'm here right now, so I better ask for this letter that I take to immigration asking for a letter. So I'll do that. So I went out and then back in the process again, and gave them my green card, my validation that I'm a resident of Mexico, to get this letter, and they went off with my green card. And came out, instead of with my green card plus a letter, they came out with just the green card and said, the boss is in a meeting, he has to sign it, can you wait an hour? And I said no. So the FIGO never got in my name, and I think at this point we're not going to bother because we are selling it, and it's not necessary to put it in our name. The car is in our name, it's just the plates that are not in our name. So let me catch up on my notes here. I talked way so much. Okay, so now I've got my plates. I go out there, and Daryl's very pleased, and they had told me, I've been carrying this package around every visit. The 4 trips into Merida, I've had this package of information, made sure I had everything I needed. Daryl's got it over there, but besides the metal plate, you get, it's like a sticker, a smaller sticker version of the plate. It looks just like a plate, but they told me to stick that in the back window. And then there was a holographic sticker that they told me to stick in the window. So he starts, screwing in the plates onto the car in the parking lot. And I start looking in the parking lot to see where everybody's got these stickers. Because they told me to put it in the back, but they didn't say which side, and I don't know if it matters or not, but I went walking around, and there was one car with these stickers. Like, some of them had the license plate sticker, but only one of them had the holographic stickers. I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll copy this guy. And he had the license plate sticker on the driver's side in the back, and he had the holographic sticker on the passenger side in the front. So that's what I did. Daryl had the foresight to bring a screwdriver, so he had no problems getting that on. Done. We got plates, they're on the car. What a relief. So some of the differences I want to note versus our experience in Alberta, Canada, where we're from, registration of vehicles is privatized in Alberta. So you pretty much have a registry office on every corner, at least in every neighborhood. So, depending on certain time of the month, you expect a little bit longer wait to get your work done, whatever it is you're getting, like registering a vehicle, renewing your driver's license, what have you. You just have to wait to get up to that counter. Once you're at that counter, they help you with everything. Even if you're getting a picture taken, they take your picture and they bring you back. So that was a little different than, all these different stations and whatnot. So that was different. I felt it was very heavy bureaucracy, heavy paperwork. They really like their paperwork here in Yucatan. And from what my understanding is of talking to our Mexican friends, and that extra step of getting that immigration letter just kind of dumbfounds them. Only in the Yucatan, they say, and we have heard that if you get, it's very difficult to get anything registered in the Yucatan because of the bureaucracy that they have. So if you do have Yucatan plates, it's like coveted because everything is good with that car. There's probably different experiences in different provinces because not all registries are privatized. Some of them are still government, so I'm imagining you're waiting a lot. We were there for approximately 2 hours in total, once on our 4th trip.
After 4 days of going there.
Yeah. Once we successfully got the plates, it took about 2 hours for the process. And I know I don't know what it was called, but there was a TV show about American DMVs and I don't remember the cities. You would probably be pretty impressed by that 2 hour wait, because according to that TV show, like you could spend 8 hours there and not go in. So, you know, different experiences from what you expect. What I learned is take copies of everything. Take 2 copies of everything.
And have an appointment.
Yeah, and have an appointment, yeah. But you're gonna meet, I mean, thankfully at the Centro de Servicios, they have a copy place there, but just bring the copies with you.
Yeah. So what did it cost? What was the total cost?
1,906 pesos, or I believe $120. And they expire December 2024, so a year and a half, no,
It's almost 3 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah, but if we would have got them, they're good for 3 years if you get it at the beginning of the year,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah. So 3 years they're good for, depending on when you get it. So that's it. That's all.
Thank you so much, my amigos. I'm curious to know what the experience is like in other states of Mexico, if you've been through this process, whether it's a brand new car or a used car. Is the process different over used versus new? I'm really curious to know, because this is my first experience and I'm in the Yucatán, which, you know, by all accounts is much more intense in their paperwork. Adios, amigos.
Adios, my friends. Peace out.
Adios.